Allah is not the name of the God of the Israelites. Their God does have a name, but it is not Allah. And through this video, I'm going to prove to you that even though you say God is a title, it still does not say that because another religion says God, it does not mean that it is referring to the God that you believe in. It could be a different God because, as I said in another video, there are many gods and many lords in the heavens and on the earth and in the seas below us. So when you are saying God, when you are using a title, it does not specifically imply that that person is referring to your God. It could be another God, right? And we have to remember and keep in mind that Satan is also a God in his own right. And if you look at the word gods, it does mean, in a sense, mighty one. So so we are not saying that they are all in the same rank. We're just saying that you need to be mindful that when a person uses the term, it might not imply to the God that you are referring to, which all boils down back to what is the name of your God and who is your God? Is your God an idol, or is your God the true and living God of Jacob or the Israelites? So, who is Allah, or what is Allah? The, the etymologically name, or the etymology of the name Allah is probably a contraction of the Arabic al-Ilah, which means the God. So Alila is not a name for the specific God, it's a title, right? And the name's origin can be traced to the earliest Semitic writings in which the word for God was Il, I-L, El, E-L, or Eloah, E-L-O-A-H. The latter two used in the Hebrew Bible of the Old Testament. So they are tracing the etymology of the word Alila from the word Eloah or El, and back to Hebrew origins per se. So the ancient Semitic religions mostly originated in and around the Mesopotamic region, along with accompanying languages. These regions were polytheistic in nature and gave rise to both monotheistic Islam and monotheistic Judaism. These religions were polytheistic in nature. No, sorry. One such language was early Hebrew. Early Hebrew. And this had the root in the word El. So it brings us back to the word El. And I'm going to show you the meaning of what the word El means later on. Right? So the word El meant God. Not the God, just God. The word later started referring to the father God of Semitic religions, the husband of Sarah, Ashratu, and Atirat. The word El and its variation were being used in multiple religions. Allah, Al-Ilah by Arabic Christians and Mizrahi Jews to refer to God of Abraham. And in Syriac, its variation by Assyrian Christians today, and Al-Ilah to refer to just God in Arabic, as opposed to Al-Ilah, which means the God. So when they are saying there is no other God but Allah, I think that's the quote, then they are actually saying there is no other God but the God. Because if the word Allah stems from Alila, which means the God, it's a title, not a name. So they're therefore telling you that their God is nothing but a title, a mere just the God. The God of what? Yes, it's redundant and it is not explaining who their God is. Moving on. So Al-Ilah was in use for centuries, even prior to the arrival of Muhammad. This word Al-Ilah, meaning the God, is closely linked to being used by the Quraysh tribe. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. The same tribe that Muhammad belonged to and was considered to be the chief god among the 360 gods worshipped in the Kaaba in Mecca, right? So this Allah term was stemming from the many idols in this tribe that Muhammad had originally been a part of. So it was not that an angel came down to him and say, "Oh, the true name of God is Allah." No. He was already a part of a tribe that was calling upon such a name as Alila or Allah, which means the God. Before Islam became a structured religion, ancient Arabs were pagan worshippers. The Kaaba of Mecca was previously covered with drawings and the symbols for deities in plural, demons, angels, knightly demons, demigods, animals, divine animals, and much more pictography that evidenced the polytheistic nature of pre Islamic religion in Arabia. In fact, there has been evidence of even idols and idol worship near the Kaaba. So we see that it is just a mixture stemming from a lot of the pagan worship that was around in the time that Muhammad was used to after being a part of this tribe, and he got inspired to create a religion stemming from all these factors and influences. Right? So the word Eloah. Eloah means God. So if the word Al-Ilah was coming from the word Eloah, which means God, that means the word Allah is not a name. It is meaning God or the God, right? And we can see that the word Eloah coming from the word El. So what does El mean? The word El, therefore, is a masculine noun or non-masculine, meaning God, just the same, or in plural, gods. And it is the primitive root of the word Eloah, right? So if the word Alila stemmed from the word Eloah, which is Hebrew in origin, that simply means that they were um, taking a little information here, taking some pagan origins there, and mixing it all together to sell to the people a new religion, as they often do, because the devil has to find some way to keep people confused by selling them religions upon religions, because it's just like I said in the previous video about, is it Jah or Yah? There is like 10% truth and 90% lies. And you have to be sifting through religions, backtracking in order to find what fragments of truth there is out there. Because there is so much lies and so much confusion, because the devil made it that way. He tricked the world, and he basically scattered the truth here, there, and everywhere. So it's just like a puzzle that you have to be finding them, putting the pieces together, and then you have what you're truly looking for. So you cannot find, yeah, inside of religions. Before there was religions, which is a man-made construct, and I would have to do a separate video on religions. There was Yah, Yah, the God of the Israelites, the God of Jacob, the God of Abraham. He was there before religion even existed. When Israel was coming onto the fold of Yah, when Moses got those 10 commandments, religions was not upon the tongue of Moses, nor was it a word spoken out of the mouth of Yah. They worshipped Yahweh in nature, and his being and his essence was of simplicity, because he even allowed them to build a simple tent to host his presence there for the priests to enter. And then there was a place for the assemblies to dwell. So is a man of simplicity, or a God of simplicity. So religions, the man-made construct, came in, took all these teachings, all these information from the Dead Sea Scrolls, all these experiences, and gathered them all into one book, made multiple religions, and threw a little truth here, a little truth there, and so on. So that's why I said take all things to Yahweh in prayer, because there's a lot of lies and deception out there. And deception has been out there from the beginning of the fall of men. So do not think that it is now a new and a modern occurrence. Oh, no, they're being deceptive. No, it has always been there. Even the Bible instructs just in Jeremiah that the lying pens of scribes have falsified the words of Yahweh. And because of this, you have to be looking even deeper into not just what you are reading from the Bible, but you also have to looking into deeper into what your pastors preach to you, what your assemblies preach to you. Study to show thyself approved, because you cannot just be sitting there receiving regurgitated information from men whom they self can also lie, or maybe they just don't know. Okay, but majority of them, I think that they are lying, and they need to come forward with the truth and stop selling this religion, because I feel like they are benefiting from keeping you people enslaved through religion, because they know that they get paid handsomely by the wicked powers that be, who are in control, who seek to keep you from elevating in your spiritual essence, in knowing Yah personally and obeying his commandments. So um so we can see, even though Mitraism and a lot of other tested religions ran before Judaism, we can see that Christianity did, however, stem from Judaism, and then came Islam, I think 600 years after Christianity. So it is, I think, right for us to say that majority of the concepts and the origins of Islam was somewhat hijacked from Christianity. So here are 7 signs that show that Allah and Yah are two different gods. They are not the same. The first one, the name of Yah. Muslims say they believe in the prophet Moses, yet they do not recognize or acknowledge the unique name that Yah gave to Moses. When Moses encountered the burning bush at Mount Horeb, he was told that the name of Yah was YHWH forever. This is in Exodus 3:14-15. Yahusha used the first person of YHWH when he said, I am, in John 5, verse 58. The Quran makes no mention of the special name for Yah and uses Allah, which means the God. It is not a name. So therefore, there was, as stated, 360 idols in the Kaaba during Muhammad's time, called Allah. And Allah is nothing other than the generic term for the God, which leads us back on the road to calling on titles like the Lord and the Creator and the Universal King, and so on and so on. They're all titles, they're not names. Moving on. So another reason is Yah demands separation from church and state. From Abraham to Moshe to Yahusha, there was a strict separation of assembly or church and state. Abraham was served with wine by high priest Melchizedek. This is seen in Genesis 14. Moses was served by high priest Aaron, and Yahusha acted as the high priest and served his apostles with wine. Matthew 26, verse 26-29. There is a story in 1 Samuel 13 where King Saul performed priestly duties, and Yahweh removed his kingship because of this. He was not ordained to do certain things, right? Because different priests had different levels of responsibilities back in those days. And Yah demanded the separation of the assemblies and from the state. Yahusha also said to give to Caesar what is Caesar's, enforcing the separation of the assemblies and the state. Islam demands totalitarianism and also has banned wine. Yahweh demands separation of the assemblies and state, while Allah demands totalitarianism. Another reason is Yah's holy city in Jerusalem. So Jerusalem is the holy city of Yah, and Jerusalem is mentioned in the Torah over, that's the Old Testament for all you who don't know Torah, over 660 times, and in the New Testament over 154 times. So the book of Revelation in chapter 21 states that a new Jerusalem will arrive, indicating that Jerusalem is Yahweh's holy city forever. Mecca is not mentioned once by name in the Bible. Mecca is the only city of Allah, and Jerusalem is not mentioned once by name in the Quran. Yah and Allah claim two different holy cities that can never be reconciled. Okay, so another reason, moving on, is the Dome of the Rock. In 637 AD, when Caliph Umar captured Jerusalem, he told Bishop Sophronius that they would build a shrine to Allah's prophet on the holy mountain. Sophronius understood a prophecy of Daniel, which called this an abomination that leads to desolation, that desolates. Sorry. The prophecy starts in 583 BC, the 23rd year of Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. And when the last group of 745 people were taken to Babylon, and so the regular burnt offerings, they ceased. That is found in Jerusalem. Take a look at Jeremiah 52 verse 30. Now the scope of this prophecy is 12,090 years. I mean 1290 years of 360 days of 1271 solar years. So coming forward from 583 BC, by 1271 years, we come to 688 AD. Caliph Abdul Malik built the Dome of the Rock between 685 and 691 AD. So 688 AD is the midpoint of the building program. So the shrine to Allah's prophet is called an abomination that desolates by Yah. Muhammad is not mentioned even once in the Bible, and Yahusha said that only false prophets would come after him. That makes Muhammad a false prophet. Another reason is that Yah's enemies are Allah's supporters. There are numerous places in the Bible where Yah names the nations who will fight against him and with the Antichrist. In the famous 70 weeks prophecy, it is the people of the Antichrist who destroy the temple in 70 AD. The soldiers of the Roman legion ex Fretensis under General Titus were from Turkey, Syria, Jordan, and Arabia. These nations today, whose people destroyed the Second Temple in 70 AD, are Islamic. In Psalms 83, Isaiah 13 to 24, and Ezekiel 28, 32, and 38, the nations named as following the Antichrist are Syria, Lebanon, Gaza, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Sudan, and Libya. The Bible is consistent in naming Islamic countries where people follow Allah as the followers of the Antichrist. So the another reason, moving on, is Yah created mankind as equals. Allah didn't. The Bible states clearly that all are equal in Yah's eyes, but this is not the same with Allah. Allah describes a hierarchy for mankind. Arab male Muslims are the best of people, and Arabic is the language of heaven. White male Muslims are next in importance, then follows black male Muslims, then follows women Muslims with the order of the lowest of the believers. Then there is non-believers or infidels who are referred to as the vilest of creatures, and Yah states that all people are equal, but Allah simply does not. So the next point, Yah hates what Allah allows. So the Bible states clearly in the book of Proverbs 6, verses 17 to 19, the 6 things that Yah hates. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that hurry to run to evil, a lying witness who testifies falsely. So, Yah hates haughty eyes, but Allah gives Muslims haughty eyes by telling them they are the best of people and unbelievers are the vilest of people. Yah hates a lying tongue, but Allah allows Muslims to lie. And Yah hates hands that shed innocent blood, yet Allah demands the killing of unbelievers, apostates, and even Muslims who don't follow the true faith. Yah hates a heart that devises wicked plans, yet Allah approves of Muslims who want to destroy Yasharal, blow up infrastructure, and plan to undermine Western democracies through lying and deceit. Yah hates feet that hurry to run to evil, but Allah approves of Muslims who murder poets and filmmakers and try to kill people who draw cartoons about Muhammad. Yah hates a lying witness, yet Allah demands that a Muslim lies to protect or advance the cause of Islam. And another reason, well, the last reason is Yahweh's laws for mankind. Moses received the 10 Commandments on 2 stone tablets from Yahweh on the mountaintop. These commandments are the basis for laws recognized by both Jews and Christians. In fact, Yahusha stated that, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law. I have come to fulfill, and until heaven and earth passes away, not one stroke of a letter will pass from the law." That is taken from Matthew 5:17 to 18. So the Sharia, which is based on the Quran and Muhammad, completely rejects the 10 commandments. And Muhammad broke most of the commandments on a regular basis. So if you follow Sharia, you will certainly break the Ten Commandments, and this denies the teaching of Yahusha. Yahusha went further and said that whosoever breaks the law and teaches others to do the same is considered the least in the kingdom of heaven. This is taken from Matthew 5, verse 19. That makes Muhammad the least in heaven. So if you look at the Sharia law, there is, right, just even the first one, Sharia, theft is punishable by amputation of the right hand. You know what? I'm not even going to go further. Feast your eyes on all you need to know. So, because of so called religions and the joining of pagan worships, it is best to say that it is a tool to carry everybody in one worship of one God, which ultimately is directing believers through religion to worship none other than the person who wants to steal all the worship from the rightful creator, Yah, which is the enemy himself, the devil. So the creator of this man-made construct called religion wants nothing more than to steal the rightful name and title and worship of the creator, the true creator, for himself. So I encourage you in your pursuit to finding the truth, pray, fast, ask questions, and don't let any pastor tell you, don't question God. You know what? People should turn that into a meme. Someone should turn that into a meme. Don't question God. I mean, seriously, if you cannot ask your father a question, then probably your father is lying to you, because I don't see why your father will not answer a question that you genuinely have. I hope this was an informative video to you, and do not let these religions steer you into the new world, because along with a new world comes also a new religion, and they might be looking to put everything into one, spearheaded by Islam and all the Sharia to the max, probably even add more dreadful code of conduct to it and call it the one God that everyone is worshiping as the same. But it is not the same God. They are different gods built in with a lot of idols and a lot of pagan worship. And you owe it to yourself to seek the truth. So, hashtag tell the people the truth.